Let me read that again. With a powerful message and a heroine? Is it heroine or heroine? Heroine? How do you pronounce that? I am going to read 3 reviews of Christian romantic suspense novels today. Now, these reviews were written by Christy Flores. She has a blog called Only by Grace Reviews. It's very well organized. Christy Flores. Just the basics. I am a Christian and my faith is first and foremost in my life. I am happily married to L, the most amazing man who is my life partner and best friend. I have 2 teenage boys, Dash and DJ, that keep my life interesting. I love dogs, but due to allergies, can only have 1. Her name is Reagan, and she's my princess and spoiled rotten by the entire family. I work for a transportation company in the accounting department, which is crazy considering the fact that I hate math. Thanks to COVID, I went part-time, which is both a blessing and a curse, and you can guess why. I pretty much read anything, but my favorites are pretty eclectic. When it comes to romance, I love good, clean romance. Anything graphic will make me stop a book immediately. But I also am majorly into forensics and true crime. Go figure, huh? I also read nonfiction, but only if it's a subject that interests me. I'm a huge history buff, so if it's historical or based on a true story, you've got my attention. I'm going to do 3 of these today, and you decide based on Christy Flores's review if you want to check it out or not. The first one I'm going to do is Mountain Storm Survival by Cathy McDavid. About the book, the title is Mountain Storm Survival by Cathy McDavid. It's published by Harlequin Love Inspired Suspense. It was released October 24, 2023. A brutal storm, relentless pursuers, and more than their lives are on the line. Helping with Youth Wrangler Camp is how Kate Spencer is atoning for her past. But now she and ranch manager Rand Walkins are trapped in the Superstition Mountains with 2 girls as illegal miners hunt them down. Rand has every reason not to trust Kate, much less forgive her. But working together is the only way they'll escape from the danger that threatens them all. Now, this is Christy's review. I am always down for a good romantic suspense with flawed characters and lots of action, and Mountain Storm Survival did not disappoint. Rand is the manager at Stillwater Ranch and is leading this year's Youth Wrangler Camp for troubled teens. He knows these kids can be a handful, but what he doesn't expect is one of his enemies to be on the trip as well. Kate is Rand's enemy, though she does not want to be. She's a strong woman who is living by faith, and it is clear that she truly wants to atone for her sins of her past, aka the reason for Rand's bitterness and unforgiveness towards her. Rand wants nothing to do with her, and instead wants to hold on to the bitterness that has built up over the years. Witnessing how both Rand and Kate handle the youth was amazing. They both are carrying around so much internally, but seeing how they can put all of that aside and help these kids and protect them when danger lurks is inspiring. Seeing their characters grow was one of my favorite aspects of this story and added much needed depth to the narrative. This is a very character-driven story, and that fact, paired with the suspense, was perfection. The ending was a happily ever after affair, which is to be expected in a love-inspired novel. But it was not one that is out of the realm of possibility, something which I greatly appreciated. So many endings of clean romances are so far-fetched that it ruins the rest of the book for me, as it takes the fiction to a whole nother level. But this ending was sweet and satisfying. I put the book down with a content smile on my face and hope in my heart, which is the best way to leave a narrative, in my opinion. I couldn't have asked for anything more, and am so thankful that I had the opportunity to read this suspenseful and heartfelt novel. My rating, 4 stars. All right, now I'm going to do Crossroads by C.C. Warrens. This is Christy Flores's review. It's the 5th in the Holly novels by C.C. Warrens. It's independently published, and it just released last week as well, October 27, 2023. It's Christian suspense, Christian romantic suspense. Run and don't look back. I'll find you when it's safe. Those were the last words Holly whispered to her 6-year-old foster sister before the little girl fled into the trees and disappeared from existence. 15 years later, Cassandra Ward is still missing. Holly is haunted by the possibility that she sent her foster sister running from one monster and into the clutches of another. How else could a child vanish without a trace? Determined to find her, Holly sifts through her own dark memories for clues, revisits her past, and chases a lead across the country with Jordan by her side. But the search for Cassie takes a dangerous turn when an altercation in the mountains leaves them stranded, cut off from the outside world and running for their lives. Lovers of books by Lynette Eason, Terry Blackstock, and Natalie Walters will enjoy this latest thrilling installment of the Holly novels and might even stay up all night reading. When I finished Crossroads, I was speechless. If you know me, you'd know that's saying a lot. I hate jumping into a series at the end, but I also feel like this can prove an author's talent. If you can grab me without me knowing what's going on in this world, then you've got my attention. Well, Ms. C.C. Warrens, you got my attention. Holly has escaped unimaginable abuse and is finally free of the monster's grasp for good. But this freedom is bittersweet. All she can think of is finding the stepsister that she helped escape their foster house of horrors 15 years ago. She promised that one day she would find her, and that time is now. What she doesn't expect is the harrowing journey she embarks on to find her, and honestly, neither did I. There is a warning at the beginning of this novel, and it's obvious from the start as to why. This story starts out very dark and sad, and that sense of foreboding builds and builds the further you read. The narrative took a twisted turn, one that I wasn't expecting whatsoever. It is a dark subject that always makes my skin crawl and my blood boil. And after everything Holly has been through, it was tough to read, yet I couldn't stop myself. The fact that Holly has been through the nightmares she's lived through and is refusing to live in fear is a testament to her strength. I know many women who can attest to the same, and it never ceases to amaze and inspire me. Holly has a lot of people that love and protect her, which is also something I love seeing. Without being overtly graphic, you witness violence and multiple forms of abuse that are either alluded to or observed. I appreciate that the author did not shy away from these topics, yet she still wasn't meticulous in her depiction. Despite being a survivor of abuse myself, I never once felt triggered with the subject matter. As I think back to why, the only conclusion I can come up with is that I was so engrossed in the narrative that I lost myself in that world, forgetting all about my own. Trouble seems to follow Holly everywhere she goes. Despite her good intentions, she seems to end up in the darkness, going from one bad situation to the next. I'm starting this series at the end, but the author does a masterful job of tying in other obvious plot points from other novels in the series, making reading this novel as seamless as a standalone. The faith of Holly herself is so inspirational. Even when the future seemed bleak and there were some truly hopeless moments, she held on to her belief, not willing to give up her faith or the search for her foster sister, no matter what the cost. A very, very powerful message resonates within her story. Crossroads is a novel that will stick with me long after I put it down, and I'm kicking myself for not reading this series sooner. With a powerful message and a heroine that you can't help but love, Crossroads. The powerful message and a heroine you can't help but love, Crossroads is hands down a must-read. 5 stars. All right, book review of Havoc by Ronie Kendig. A soldier, a Malinois, and a stunt woman walk onto a TV set. Former Special Forces operator Sergeant Crew Gatlin takes everything in stride, even the career-ending incident that separated him from the Army, half a leg, and his beloved working dog. Havoc K027. Putting his life back together and lying low, he takes a job with a breed apart and is unexpectedly reunited with Havoc. It's too good to be true. And the proof is in their first assignment, to work as a K9 team for a television drama in Los Angeles. Miffed at being relegated to TV fodder, he's willing to pay the price when he sees the stunt woman. Being a stunt double allows Vienna Foxcroft to fulfill her acting dream, with a side of MMA, and stay out of the limelight. The same one that plagued her childhood and put her through a nightmare scenario. Now, her tight-knit stunt team are the only ones she trusts. Then in walks Mr. Mountain of the Muscle and his tough-as-nails dog, and Vienna has a bad feeling her life is about to turn upside down. Ticked as they head overseas for a location shoot in Turkey, Crew guts it up. After all, he has Havoc again. Okay, and yeah, Vienna is going too. When an attack sends the cast fleeing into the streets of Turkey, Vienna must face the demons of her past or be devoured by them. And Crew and Havoc are tested like never before. Experience the high-octane thrill ride that is the first book in the A Breed Apart Legacy series. All right, this is Christy's review. I have been lucky enough to have read some pretty amazing novels lately, but Havoc blows them all out of the water. Not only is Havoc the name of a special dog in this story, but it also defines the relationship between lead couple Crew and Vienna and how they both go from their love lives lying dormant to a chance meeting that wreaks havoc on that notion. Sergeant Crew Gatlin is a former Special Forces soldier that is now out of commission due to an unfortunate accident that cost him part of his leg and his beloved dog Havoc. Back home in the States, he's trying to figure out what life looks like for him at the moment. Now, working with A Breed Apart, and thanks to a loyal friend, not only is he reunited with his hallowed dog Havoc, but their first assignment with the K9 unit is in Los Angeles to be part of a television drama, much to Crew's dismay. Vienna Foxcroft just so happens to be the stunt double for the starlet of said drama, and she is a woman with immense strength that's fighting her hardest to stay out of the limelight. Coming from a very affluent family, Vienna prefers to go against her family ties and blend into the background. But from their first meeting, it's clear that Crew and Havoc only have eyes for her. The connection between Vienna and Crew is positively electric. From the get-go, it's obvious they have a wicked connection. And at one point, they even give off Mr. and Mrs. Smith vibes, and I was living for it. With Vienna being classically trained in several martial arts styles, combined with Crew's combat training, all of the fight scenes were epic. The descriptions put you right in the hand-to-hand combat, which amped up the intensity 1000%. I felt the intensity, the spice, and all the feels with this novel. The ebb and flow from going to a deadly battle to a tender moment that punches you in the gut shows the mark of amazing writing. There are some intense scenes in this novel that literally had my heart pounding. I won't spoil anything, but there's one scene in particular that literally is my worst nightmare. It was so triggering for me that I had to skip paragraphs to get through it. Talk about stellar writing. It made it so real, I truly felt what the character felt. Just wow. If I had one complaint, I would say that I felt the ending was rushed. I can't explain further without giving the plot away, but I will say I was disappointed that it wasn't the spectacular ending I had been anticipating. Otherwise, this novel was about as close to perfection as you can get. Heart-pounding action and suspense, flirtatious banter, and raw and real moments made this an impeccable start to a brand new series. My rating, 5 stars. All right, that's 3 reviews by Christy Flores, Only by Grace Reviews. Check her blog out at onlybygracereviews.blogspot.com. Her website is fantastic, and I will check back in with you guys next time, hopefully tomorrow. Here's to the first sip.